if we didn't have all these chemicals and all the toxins in the environment, our body wouldn't break down as fast. Like, we would just be kind of like designed how we are. You know, we would have a good amount of muscle in the body and it would be easier to maintain that. I think that's the most compelling storyline when you look at things like carnivore and keto diet, is that it's very low on toxins and chemicals. One of the stories that I heard yesterday too, or the theories of cancer from this guy, was that he described a tumor developing and using energy in the body similar to the liver. So he talked about it like in cancer cells and in the tumor, they'd find higher amounts of microplastics, and it would tend to like filter all the toxins toward it and act as a second liver. And I thought that was very interesting. I'm definitely still thinking about it. But I feel like there's always so much that we don't know. So you kind of just always have to keep your mind open to what are the possibilities. But, you know, what I was thinking about it was like, yeah, who are you without the chemicals? And does it have to be that hard? You know, going back to the beginning of when I started to go to the gym and lift weights, was like, the sentence that comes to mind is, do you need to do more or do you need to do less of the wrong things? So I was pushing, going for hours, doing so much cardio, I still had chemicals in my diet and stuff like that, processed foods. And the thing was, it was so tiring. It was so exhausting. And one day I was like, I don't think it needs to be this hard. I think that if I ate more protein and fat and I went out in the sun, all of these same things like carnivore diet and sunlight mimics exercise in different ways, of course, but it's just really interesting that when you can put the body in a saturated mineral space, allow the immune system to really clean everything up, the body then, it doesn't have to work as hard to do all these maintenance tasks. It's the same thing as looking at the blood sugar. Like, the blood sugar is like this, going crazy. And then I start eating mostly protein and fat. And the reason why that helps people so much is because it keeps the blood sugar stable. And so my body doesn't have to work in so much chaos all the time. Isn't that so beautiful? Like, I mean, it's so gorgeous that, people are regressing insane diseases, like even Alzheimer's, dementia. There's a lady on No Carb Life who lost sight of her symptoms because of that particular diet. It's like, I'm sharing these videos because, not that you may be afraid to have Alzheimer's, dementia, but, you don't have to be on the brink of death to make a life-changing decision. Like, you could just be someone who's like, I struggle with anxiety. I have this weight gain in the middle that I can't get rid of, Some people are more sensitive than others, Some people cannot tolerate anything except the carnivore diet. That's why that guy has made the channel and has talked to so many different people. No Carb Life, that's the channel. Because sometimes you get to a point in your life where you have nowhere else to turn. And, all the symptoms along the way, we all end up somewhere, And the more we struggle with the blood sugar and the insulin resistance, like, this is the aging process. This is what it happens when we get older. We have higher cortisol levels. Our blood sugar doesn't balance as well. And so, like, even studying Robert Sapolsky's book, being in the stressed out place in the body, we age much faster. And that's really it's just really interesting. Like, you look at, if you even just consider, like, someone who, you take two people and one person's like really healthy and they work out, and you take somebody else who has been a smoker all their life. That person, they may be the same age, like in their 50s. The person who is a smoker looks a lot older because smoking puts stress on the body. It creates oxidative stress and reactive oxygen species. And, something even fascinating, random kind of off topic, is I was looking up shoulder tears one day. And because I was like, why is everybody having shoulder replacements now? Like, years ago, like, people didn't just used to have all these ligament tears, and our bodies are literally falling apart. Like, what has changed? So I was like looking at the prevalence of shoulder tears, and it said one of the one of the risk factors to a shoulder tear is smoking. And I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. But it's so true that when the body is under stress, it has less wiggle room to be in a resilient place. And that's the same thing with the blood sugar. If my blood sugar is always like this, and then something stressful like an illness comes, I don't have as much resistance to it. And that's one of the things that's compelling about the carnivore diet, is a lot of people talk about it, and they say, I don't remember the last time I got sick. And I can say the same thing for myself. When I started to eat a lot more animal protein, whole lot less upper respiratory infections. And like, I remember getting colds, like when I was in college, when I was really struggling, I would get like a cold, and it would last for like at least 2 weeks, and it's crazy how, we don't consider, when we think of a cold, that's all that we consider. We forget who we are. We don't think, oh, that's my immune system asking for more. It doesn't have enough of what it needs, So like, even now, like, sometimes if I'm up late at night and I know I'm tired, like, I'll get cold-like symptoms, like, my nose will get a little bit stuffy, or I'll start to just feel like tired in my throat, dry in my throat. I'm like, oh, my body is asking me to hydrate through minerals and go to sleep, go rest. And I wake up the next day, and I feel fine. And a big part of that whole immune function is vitamin D and going out in the sunlight, and mitochondria in general. Of course, the powerhouse of the cell, they're always involved, never leave them out. They are the life of the party. But anyway, I hope this video is helpful for you. I hope you think about, like, who would I be without the chemicals? What kind of thoughts would I have? How would my thoughts change if I didn't have so many chemicals in my diet? Who would I be? Because our food shapes our gut bacteria shape our thoughts, and it shapes our outlook on the whole world and how we commune with others. It's just this beautiful process. I really love it. It's my passion in life. So anyway, I hope you get some value from this, but as always, I will catch you later.